Hi, this is Regina Y. Favors with Homeless Recovery Tips. So the topic today is about the homeless shelter and that it is not the blessing. The and I think the reason why I put it in this way, I title this lesson in this way, is that sometimes the homeless shelter can be a blessing on your journey through transition, on your transition journey rather. But it is not the blessing. The homeless shelter works more along the lines of a correctional system. So, whatever you did not get an understanding about prior to entering the homeless shelter, then you are forced to be corrected in that understanding or misunderstanding. So, as I noted in a previous audio about don't decorate the shelter, um, the whatever, if you volunteered your finances without boundary, without any standards, boundaries, expectations of returning of getting that money back from someone, then that is something that needs to be corrected while you are in the homeless shelter. The goal of the homeless shelter is not just to house you, just is not just to open the doors for you so that you can have somewhere to lay your head. It is not just so you can get a cot, not just so you can get food in the morning times. And if you're on program, you probably get to stay there throughout the day and get lunch. And then, of course, if you're not on program and you have to leave every morning and come back by a certain time, somewhere around 3 o'clock, uh, it's not just so you can get dinner. The homeless shelter is not your home. It is not a place that you need to make your home. It is not a place where you can set up camp and live there the rest of your life like you could in your own apartment. I think some people who go in and out of prison and jail think on some level that they always have that as an option. They always have the prison and the jail as an option because if you didn't think it was an option or you didn't want to use it as an option, you wouldn't keep going back and forth. There has to be something on the inside of you that says, okay, I can't live like this. I don't want to live like this. I'm tired of being in this jail. I'm tired of this system foot on my neck. I want better. I want better for myself. But if you find yourself returning and smiling about it and laughing and bragging about it and talking about all the different places you've had multiple stints and you are just sort of like a Shawshank redemption in walking, then you on some level believe that the prison and the jail, and for some who go shelter hop, you believe that the homeless shelter, the jail, the prison is a blessing for you. Because if you looked at it as more along the lines of a curse or something that is abnormal, that you should not live in a homeless shelter, if you looked at it in that way, then you would design a life plan that is um, better dedicated to you sustaining yourself as a 100% responsible adult. The homeless shelter also is not your mother, it's not your parent. Whatever you didn't get in the family dynamic, sometimes you may have to parent yourself. And using the homeless shelter to take care of you is not something that's going to be able to be sustainable. You could die in the homeless shelter, sure, in the same way that you have homeless people who could die on the streets homeless. That is definitely something that can happen for you, but that means that you are dying in a curse. You are dying in a setback. You have not recovered from your setback. Um, Death for you uh, was much more was the result of you not changing your belief system, not changing your attitude towards yourself. You're still pulling at someone in your past emotionally. You're still pulling at someone mentally. You're still trying to get that person to see you or to change you or to help you or do whatever. And sometimes you will never be able to address any issues in your childhood with a parent long enough. It's, you have many people who are still circling the same argument. I need this parent, I need this person to apologize for how he or she treated me. I need them, I need to talk to them, I need them to understand. What if they decide not to ever understand? What if they are very deliberate in how they respond to you? So then, are you going to continue to circle the same life argument? That means that you are homeless. You are intellectual. You are psychologically, mentally homeless, emotionally homeless, because you're still trying to pull something from somebody. So even if you decided, even if that parent decided to let you come and live there at their house, and you're thinking that is like one step closer to them admitting that they were not the right parent, that they were not the best parent for you. You're homeless in their house, however. No, because it's not your house anymore. Once you left that house as an adult, then you became an adult. Whether or not you were an adult in your mind doesn't mean anything. It's just that you are considered an adult. So now when you return to that person's house, to that parent's house, you are returning to their house as a homeless individual. You're sleeping, even if the parent gives you a bedroom, a bed, a dresser, a TV, sheets, towels, soap, shower, uh, bathroom, even if that is part of your living there, that is still not your place. It is still not your home. And it is still, and anything that is not yours that you can claim, and that if someone in their whim at will can kick you out, that is not the blessing. That is not the blessing. Their home is not your blessing. Your home, you working hard in your own life to get out of this thinking, this homeless thinking, and moving about as a wanderer and not accomplishing anything. You setting to task, setting a life goal to address certain areas of your life will usher you into the blessing. And the blessing is also predicated on obedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And so when you obey, you get God's protection, and then you can be ushered into the blessing. But as long as you are continually in a state of disobedience, which is considered a form of homelessness in a sense, then that is not the blessing. That is not the blessing. The homeless shelter is not the blessing. I really need you to understand that, because you can't say that something that is permitting you to live there for a term limit, for a term, whether it's 30 days to 90 days, if you're on program for 18 months to 2 years, is a blessing for you. It's a tool, it's a correction tool. And in some ways in your life, it can be a blessing based upon what you have gone through, and you may not have had any other option in your life, but it is not the blessing. Blessing is based upon, again, your obedience, and it's usually tied to something that God is wanting to assign to your life. And so that means you can use the homeless shelter as a contemplative self-reflection tool that allows you to live there for a time and eat and take part and break bread with people. But you should always assume that your blessing is beyond the homeless shelter itself, that there's something on the other side of the homeless shelter that you need to get to. That's why you don't need to settle there. That's why you don't need to wait there. That's why you don't need to decorate there. That's why you don't need to make your life there. Even if you get 2 years out of it, you do not consider it your home. It is a place. It is a place of transition that at least gives you uh, a month to 2 years stability, so that you can plan your way from it. plan your way out of it and plan your way to stay out of it. I wish that the folks who are spending time in prison and spending time in jails and going back and forth, that they would sit down with themselves, with their mind, and think, do I really want to continue doing this all the way up to I'm 50, 60, 70, 80 years old? And if you can put yourself, if you can put it in that sort of frame of thinking, you say to yourself, okay, I can't do this um, forever. Anyone who continues to go back and forth into prisons, jails, homeless shelters, being homeless, etc., is looking still for someone to parent him or her. Because if you care enough about yourself to parent yourself, you would do all that you could to sustain a better, stable life for yourself. So, this is Homeless Recovery Tips. The homeless shelter is not the blessing.